Merging together the tower defense genre and the roguelike genre is Towerful Defense, a rogue TD. This sees you play as a single tower in the centre of a screen, surviving an alien invasion, and the aliens are various different symbols and circles that are coming into the screen from the outside, shooting various bullets and causing you trouble. If they hit your tower, they'll start to chip away at your HP, or they might shoot various things that knock your HP off as well, and you need to be able to survive that by killing all of them first. In between each wave of enemies that you have to deal with, though, you can then go into the roguelike element of this game, buying different cards and upgrades with the cash that you've earned through killing the enemies in the battle phase, to then upgrade and modify your tower to make it as powerful as possible. And really where this game excels is in the plethora of options that you get to choose from. At the beginning of each run, you get to choose a different tower type. There are several base ones to start off with that might have a strength of gaining XP and leveling up quickly, or it might gain money quicker, or it might have lots more HP than another tower. And then there are intermediate ones that add in additional challenges. So these are things like that will start off with 300 HP, but you'll never be able to regenerate any, so that has to last you the entire 20 wave battle, which takes about 30 minutes to complete and has a really horrible end boss at the end that smashes your health very quickly, so you have to really think on your feet and hope for the best. When you then choose your tower, you then also get to choose your first base skill. Now, every tower has the ability to shoot bullets, and that will have a ring of influence around it that you can kind of shoot the radius for it. But you'll also have an additional skill. One is like a samurai sword thing that will fly around and chop enemies and damage them. Some are more elemental, around freezing or lightning damage. Some are very narrow shots of bullets, like a cannon, for example. And one's causes like an outbreak of a virus that then infects aliens that are coming towards you. But in doing so, it speeds them up and makes them more powerful, but also more susceptible to damage. You get to choose that first skill, but slots 2 and 3 can be bought and added into your deck as you upgrade your tower between the different runs. When you then hit the game, though, what I really like about this game is that you can choose all of those 3 skills to be turned into an auto skill with customizable mapping on what it's going to target. So, for example, if you chose like an area of attack damage like freezing or lightning damage or the infection, you can decide on an auto skill whether it's going to attack things closer to the tower or further away. Is it going to go for the maximum amount of damage or the amount of HP that it can initially provide in its first hit, or whether it's going to tackle enemies that are coming towards you faster than others, and you can weight how that looks and feels. You'll also see in this gameplay that there's orange circles that fly into the screen as well, and they're supply buckets or crates for you to collect, and you can choose whether or not your skills target them or not, or whether you're just going to leave them to your general bullet fire. Now, that means that you can turn all of those skills on or off, or you can be fully in control and choose with a press of a button what skill you're going to control, and then use the click of the mouse to kind of drop some of those in specific areas. It's entirely up to you how in control of things you want to be, but I quite enjoyed chilling with the auto skill most of the time and just watching the chaos unfold. I'm sure that put me at a disadvantage sometimes, but I was just in awe of watching it kind of do its thing. The real crux of this game, though, is how you can really lean into different stats and what each tower can and can't be upgraded. And it reminds me heavily of Brotato, which is a roguelike game that I absolutely adore because this follows similar ideas. So you can obviously level up your tower through just gaining XP for killing things, but you can change stats for the maximum health, the health regeneration speed, armour that can be chipped away at and not affect your health, for example. You can add on a dodge effect, which can be very helpful, especially when that's timed with luck, for example. Luck can help you to get much better things pop up in the shop in between waves. There's also the speed of what XP and money can be given to you, but also the cooldowns between when you use all of your skills, the damage of those skills, whether you're going to lean into any elemental stuff, or if that's not part of your run, you can choose to sacrifice that for other things. Do you want to deal with bullet damage more than your skills? All of this can be lent into with all of the different cards that you buy in between each round. And what's crucial is that all of your skills have 3 levels of unlockable strength, but they also have additional skill effects that you can add on to. So it might be that you're able to chain the fact that lightning and freezing can go hand in hand, that lightning will cause extra damage to any enemy that's frozen. And then if you time those attacks to go off together, you can really expedite the damage that's given there and grow it exponentially. It's really, really cool. However, you can try that in a different way, where actually you can make a tower's bullets become high on piercing damage, but they can also go through an enemy and hit an enemy behind it. And then when it does so, you can then say the further the bullet travels, the more HP it then does damage, and you can buy those upgrades. There's so many different ways how you can play this, and through quick rerolls of the cards in the shop, it will cost you a little bit of cash to do so, but you can really decide what you want to lean into. Almost all of the cards will have a benefit and a kind of curse to them as well. So you'll be constantly swapping in and out different primary and secondary stats for your tower, thinking, how does this affect me overall? And all I'll say is, if you're buying this game, remember that there is an end boss at the end of it who will come in and absolutely smash your health with some of its special moves. So remember that max HP and that quick HP regeneration. You can't do without it. The difficulties in this game are called hostility levels. You'll start off with level 0, and when you get the clear from that, you'll then unlock some additional cards that get put into the shop deck, as well as additional towers to play with and additional new enemies you'll have to deal with for hostility level 1. Clear that, you'll unlock the next, and so on and so forth. I haven't seen all of the hostility levels because I'm really, really struggling to get to the end of all of these different waves. But I'm having a great time trying different ways of playing the game, seeing what towers I work well with and what I don't. And yeah, I've been really, really enjoying just the overarching experience of this. Talking of overarching though, my one criticism of Towerful Defense so far is its meta progression between each run. As you reach certain points in your hostility battles in the main mode, you'll earn talent points. And talent points can be spent to beef up some of those overarching stats at the beginning of a playthrough. So it might be that you invest in some HP regeneration just automatically out of the gate, or some armor, or maybe some skill damage, or whatever it is that you want to spend. But you'll spend, say, 2 talent points to get that first kind of little mini buff. But then the next time you need to spend some talent points might take you 3 or 4 or 5, because everything now costs more. It's not just your specific thing that you ask for. And so the amount of talent points that are dished out are really, really small compared to what it costs to actually upgrade over the course of the game. So it feels a little bit misbalanced there, and I'm assuming it's so that it makes every game really feel earned when you win. But there's just not enough talent points to go round. So it kind of felt like it wasn't really as important perhaps as what the game makes it out to be. And so, yeah, its impact was quite minimal compared to what you can actually do during the runs in the shops itself. There is also an endless mode that you can tackle as well. And if you want to, there's also a custom difficulty mode too, where you can, with sliders, change the enemy speed, damage and health so that you can kind of take on like a easier version of Towerful Defense and really get up to speed with it all. That won't earn you talent points for your overarching progression, for example, but it does mean that you get to see more of the game and understand its mechanics a wee bit more before you get lost in the real like nooks and crannies of it all over time. So I definitely recommend Towerful Defense or Rogue TD. I've enjoyed my many hours playing with it so far. It'll be due for release on the 29th of July. And yeah, if you like your roguelikes and your TDs, pop it on your wish list. This will be a good one to pick up. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/Higher Network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.